Let's now talk about the stance triangle. Stance triangle can be seen as a theory or an analytic toolkit which helps us understand various methods and processes involved in understanding a stance. This triangle is usually associated with Du Bois in one of his works published in 2007. According to this triangle, we can have a view of various key elements and processes of a stance, and we can then, when we know these elements within a stance, we can understand or interpret that stance properly. And sometimes, even if we do not know all of these elements, by knowing what we know, maybe one or two elements, we can guess about, we can make some educated estimations of the remaining parts of a stance. Key components which have been highlighted in this triangle are the evaluation, positioning, and alignment between speakers, as well as the socio-cognitive relations of objective, subjective, and intersubjective intentionality. I'll explain this further through this diagram. If you just look at this diagram, on the top is subject 1, then we have at the bottom subject 2, and then we have a object common on which both subject 1 and subject 2 are acting. Subject 1 is constructing and evaluating an object which is object of the stance. एक ऐसी ऑब्जेक्ट जिसके बारे में कोई ओपिनियन या स्टैंस बनाया जा रहा है. ये कोई पॉइंट ऑफ डिस्कशन हो सकता है, ये कोई एक्सटर्नल वाकया हो सकता है, कोई इवेंट हो सकता है. इट कुड बी एनीथिंग about which, it could be a political statement about which a certain stance or dialogue is being generated. So subject 1 is constructing or evaluating that object, and simultaneously, if you see, subject 2 can construct and evaluate that object in the same discussion or interaction. Then while doing that, constructing or evaluating the object, both subject 1 and subject 2 are positioning themselves against that object also. They're not only showing their evaluation, their opinions about object, but through those opinions they are also positioning. Either they like it, they know it or not, they like it or not, they want to talk further about it or not. And then with the desire to talk further about it or not, or with the desire to show agreement with each other or lack of agreement with each other, they show some kind of alignment also. So alignment is between the subjects themselves. So through this triangle we can understand the overall structure of a stance, and by knowing maybe all or some parts of it, we can actually reach to some deep meanings of a stance taken in any socio-cultural situation. In the picture you can say stance is seen as a triangle unified act encompassing some several triplet sets of distinct components and processes. In this level of action, we can see stance is to be understood as an action which has three dimensions, or a triune act, or a triact. And what dimensions are those? A stance thus creates three kinds of stance consequences. Number one, a stance evaluates something. By something I mean an object which is under discussion, maybe a topic, maybe a political event, a socio-cultural talk, could be anything. And then it also positions a subject, usually the self, the speaker himself, against that object, and then it also aligns with other subjects involved in a discussion or involved in a kind of discourse. So these three major acts according to this triangle are performed by a stance, and by knowing them we know the meaning of stance. The following definition then sums it up. We can say that stance is a public act by a social act. It's not an individual, because it involves his or her positioning against a certain social object, and also it involves his interaction, agreement, lack of agreement with another subject also. So we cannot call it a personal matter. Rather, a stance can be called as a social act, which is performed by a social actor, achieved dialogically through overt communication means, which is achieved through some kind of dialogue, some conversation with others, of simultaneously evaluating objects, positioning subjects, and aligning with other subjects with respect to any salient dimension of the sociocultural world. And obviously, these stances are about some realities in the sociocultural world. Objects lie in the real world about which people make their opinions. The three nodes of the stance triangle represent three key elements or entities in the stance act, namely first subject, second subject, and stance object. And the three sides of the triangle represent vectors of directed action that recognize the stance relations among these entities. Then first evaluative vector originates from the first subject and the second from the second subject. The third side of the triangle shows the alignment between two speakers. If there is an agreement, this may originate from speaker 1 or speaker 2. Anybody can align with other at any time during an interaction or discussion. Vectors of alignment may originate in either side, maybe by the first person or second person, and then the stance triangle provides the basis for understanding the causal and inferential linkage that may arise between the various subsidiary acts which are being performed within the act of stancing or stance making. Depending on the circumstances, it is possible to draw inferences regarding any unspecified portion of the stance triangle. By saying that, I actually mean if you know some parts of a stance, I mean there are three major parts of a stance, let's say, or three major subsidiary acts that are usually performed by a stance according to this theory. If you know two of them, or maybe sometimes one of them, you might guess about the remaining ones. So, in other words, knowing this stance triangle can actually help us to know a stance properly in its socio-cultural context. Otherwise, it may become difficult for us to understand a stance properly.